Okay. My tongue is savage. My tongue, ravage. Where is the ravage? I'm stuttering.
Everything's gonna be all right, kid.
12:15. Rock them.
Hey guys, MegaMat1254 here again. Welcome back to another video today, guys. And today, guys, we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is something that I've been excited to do for a little while now, is to cover the Star Wars movies. I've always wanted to, but now we're going to do this. We're going to cover every single movie that has released on this channel. We're going to cover the spin-offs. And at some point, love to do like the shows, like the Clone Wars and Rebels and all that shit. But for now, we're going to be covering the very first episode. And yes, obviously, we're going to be reviewing these in chronological order. Not by release times, as I'd rather go by the way the story started off, which is with this movie, guys. So yeah, for any of you that were kind of like wondering why I'm starting with the prequels, that is why. Now, without further ado, guys, let's get right into this review. Alright, so my thoughts on this movie. Now, this movie is one I grew up with as a kid. I watched this way back in the early 2000s alongside Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones and whatnot. I actually had grown up on the prequels before the originals, so I have a very different experience with Star Wars overall, as the prequels were the ones that I knew like first, and then I experienced the originals like later on in my life when I was a little older. So it was actually very cool getting to start off with the prequels first and then go to the originals. And keep in mind, as I cover this movie, this will not be a rose-tinted glasses review. I'm going to be fully honest about everything in this review. I'm going to look at this as objectively as possible. And keep in mind, guys, that what I say here, this is just my opinion on the movie. If you disagree, that is 100% cool. In fact, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this movie down in the comments. But, alright, guys, I'm just going to get into it and say it. I love this movie. Now, I know that there's people out there that are going to hear that and are going to want to lynch me for that. Because this is one of the movies that I know that, like, if you like this movie, people will fucking come after you for that. Like, people despise this movie. But friggin', I don't know, guys. I felt that everything worked here. Including a certain character, which I'll get to in a bit. But yeah, let me go over the movie. Friggin', everything in this just worked for me. I love the story about, like, Anakin, where he's like a slave boy on Tatooine. You have like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. They're like these Jedis who are sent like on a mission to discuss like the stuff with like the Federation. The Federation betray them and try to kill them, which then leads us to Naboo, where we meet the infamous Jar Jar Binks, which I actually like that character. Yeah, I know, call me crazy. I like Jar Jar. I think he's a funny character for one movie. He's a good one-off comedy character. And I quite enjoy Jar Jar Binks. Yeah, I know. Sue me. I like Jar Jar Binks. Friggin', I love the segments, like, underwater with the fish coming after them. Like, there's always a bigger fish. The lightsaber duels in this one are dope. In particular, fucking Duel of the Fates. That one is just spectacular. I love that fight. It was a very awesome final battle. You got the battle with the droids and the Gungans. You got Anakin flying a ship for the first time, and I know people call it unbelievable. I can kind of see where people are coming from, but you got to keep in mind that he's like the most force-sensitive user in the galaxy, I believe. So it makes sense he'd be able to have like unnatural powers, if you will. Not to mention, you saw how he handled a pod racer earlier in the movie, so it's not entirely unbelievable for me, at least. And Easily, yeah, the story is very good. Darth Maul is a really creepy villain. I really enjoy, his presence in the movie. And then what they do with him later on in the shows and stuff just elevates this guy on another level. Like, in particular, what they do with him in Clone Wars. I love Darth Maul in the franchise overall, in canon. And, Qui-Gon as a freaking, lead. I thought Liam Neeson absolutely owned it in this movie, man. Friggin'... He felt like a very wise Jedi, but I like how he's kind of a rogue Jedi. Like, he's not fully for what the Council says, hence why he's not on the Council himself, he kind of thinks for himself. He doesn't really let the Council decide, what he does, and that's a really cool aspect that I like about him. And I think that's partially because, Count Dooku was his master, right? And that kind of, you know... is what formed Qui-Gon as a character, and it's really cool to see, especially if you watch Tales of the Jedi. You delve into, like, a lot of the Qui-Gon and Count Dooku, like, stuff when, they were Master and, Padawan, right? And it was, very cool to see that in this movie now, like, especially with that extra knowledge. Obi-Wan is good in this movie. He's not amazing. He doesn't do much in this one, other than, obviously, he takes Maul out, like, temporarily. But, yeah, I don't have flaws with him. It's just that, and I think it's a good thing, to be honest. He wasn't major in this movie, just because, friggin', you do want to develop Qui-Gon more, because this is his only movie. And Obi-Wan still gets enough screen time. He just isn't as big as he is in, like, episodes 2 or 3, which is totally fine in my book. And, we get introduced to Mace Windu in this movie, who, yeah, he's very minor in this one, though. The Phantom Menace, yeah, he's very minor in this one. We don't even see his lightsaber-like stuff until episode 2, which is the purple lightsaber, surprisingly. And, friggin', yeah, overall, plot is really good. The music is spectacular. I love the music. The visuals are really good at times. I really love, like, the space shots, and, like, you can tell the CGI's dodgy at times, but it's 1999, so it gets a pass, as, CGI wasn't as, you know, advanced as it was, nowadays, obviously. And, yeah, I don't know, guys, like, I get the flaws with the movie. I do understand, like, people... Here's the thing. With Jar Jar, people despise Jar Jar, and I get that. I know people hate Jar Jar, but hear me out for a minute on Jar Jar, guys, is, I think the character, yes, is he a little too comedic? He can be very comedic. I do get that. He's a very, very comedic character. And if you don't like comedy, then yeah, you're gonna hate him. But at least for me, he's one episode. He's only one movie. He's barely in the other ones. He's a good, almost like, I don't know, like, what I'm trying to say with it, but I guess he's like a good, he's a good, like, character in a sense where, like, he livens things up more, if that makes any sense. I guess that's what I'm trying to say is, because without him, the Tatooine stuff would get a little boring, but, with his comedy there, it actually kind of helps the Tatooine stuff, which is cool. Yeah, I don't know, guys. This was just a solid movie all around for me, and, I think it's a really fucking good watch if you haven't seen it. You know me, guys. I'm an avid defender of the prequels. I love what they done with the prequels, and this movie is the brunt of the abuse, without a doubt, from the fandom and, like, you know, average moviegoers and whatnot. But, yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed this movie, guys. I think it's a very solid watch, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it, and I would watch it in this order, too, right? Watch it in chronological order, like, and, you know, watch it that way, because then once you get to the originals... like, you'll have the knowledge of all this stuff, and I guess that's the luxury we have nowadays as fans, right? Is, you know, we could start off with the movies that, you know, kick off the entire storyline, where back in the day, you watch the originals, and then you'd watch this, like, I guess that's a cool way of watching it, too, but me, personally, I always like watching it in a, chronological order. That's probably just me, though. That's how I like to watch, you know, movies or TV shows and whatnot, right? But, yeah, pardon the ramble there, guys. But, yeah, back to what I was, you know, trying to get to the point, too, of, is, this is a very solid movie. All the actors and actresses do a fantastic job. Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, Natalie Portman, Ray Park, all of them, Ian McDermott, Jake Lloyd, I think, is good as Anakin. Yes, sue me, I like him. Ahmad Best as Jar Jar Binks did great, and freaking, he recently returned to The Mandalorian, too. If you guys watched my 304 review, you'd know that a certain somebody comes back, and yeah, freaking, he gets to play a badass character, too, now, which is cool. So having him back in the franchise is really awesome. But, yeah, guys, that's my thoughts on this movie. I think it's a solid watch. I think it's a great film. I don't got really many issues with this at all. And keep in mind here, guys, is this movie inferior to other Star Wars movies? Absolutely it is. But is it a piece of crap like everybody says it is? At least to me, no, I don't got any issues with this. It's a fun watch. It has great action, great character development, a great soundtrack, nostalgic locations like Tatooine. Yeah, this is a solid watch. We introduce R2-D2, you know, get some nostalgic characters there as well. C-3PO. And, you know, Yoda and all that. So, yeah, this movie, very, very good. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely get around to it, guys. And with that being said, that is going to be the end of this review, guys. Let me know if you guys, disagree or agree with me down in the comments, as I do want to know where you guys stand on this movie. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I'd love to get a debate going down in the comments if you do dislike it. It'd actually be cool to hear some other opinions on the movie. But, yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to put my verdict up on the screen real quick, and I'll see you in the next one.